Hey, what's up everybody? I'm going to go ahead and post this video of an HTC M8 glass replacement. Now, I debated actually posting this video just because there's so many people out there. When you post something that doesn't work 100% of the time, they give you a little bit of attitude. How come you're trying to post stuff and teach people how to do things? You don't even know how you do it. Well, when I made this video, there was nothing that showed how to do this. And I ran into a couple of errors when I was trying to do it myself, and I want to share those with people who are looking to repair their devices, and they may actually be able to do it without actually running into the same problems I did. The first being an issue when removing the glass, and the second being an issue when gluing the glass to the new LCD. So you can see that this is a functional display that we have going on here. It's definitely got a shatter issue. Now, I tried to remove one of these with just the heat gun and a playing card. It did not work out very well. I actually broke the LCD. The glue on this is a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is use this hot plate here. I took some strapping tape, a couple of playing cards cut up to give me a little surface area to grip onto. We're using this Keydox LCD separator. We'll go ahead and just insert the screen in here. We'll go ahead and put our clamps down. Now the screen, this separator is really like a hot plate, like a griddle almost, you'd use to cook food on. You just heat it up. This is put up to 80 degrees Celsius, so it'll keep the screen nice and hot all the way through. The issue that I ran into when I was trying to separate the screen with just a heat gun and playing cards is, one is it gets really cool fast, so the glue gets really stiff. The second is the glue isn't like a lot where it kind of spreads itself out. It balls up underneath the glass and is what cracked the LCD. So set up to 80 degrees Celsius. We're going to give it just a few seconds to warm up. We're going to use this molybdenum wire here, which is a wire that's known to easily separate between two things. It's really smooth, so it's not going to damage the glass. And we got a couple of holders here we put it onto, so we can use this to kind of slice our way through it. Now, the glass and the digitizer are one piece on this particular display, and the LCD is a separate piece. So what you need to do is make sure that when you're cutting this, you cut in between the display and the digitizer, so the part that there's a touch. So you want to put it over the orange down there at the bottom and then work your way up towards the top. Now, normally it's pretty difficult to get in between the glass and the digitizer when they're attached, but it can happen. So we're just going nice and slow on this. It's a little bit stiffer than I've done on a lot of other displays. Now, this portion of the repair process goes as planned. I end up cutting this off. The part where I run into an issue is the gluing, the second video in this series, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But the process is pretty sound, so you can do this. I just pushed a little too hard and broke my display, and I'll show you exactly how that happened. So moving these back and forth, it actually is a little bit harder to start on this side than it is from the opposite direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to move down here towards the bottom. We're going to try to cut it from the bottom to the top here and see if that makes a difference. So we got a little bit easier time happening here. You can actually see the glue sticking to this wire, which normally doesn't happen. The glue is actually usually pretty liquidy at this heat temperature that I have this on, but it is not the same glue that I've done on other phones. It's nothing like the iPhones or the Samsung displays. So keep that in mind as you do this. So you can see that the display's got a little bit of play in the middle of it, so I hit some less adhered on glue. So I'm going to try to push it down and get a better fit onto my separator here. And it's still got some play in it back and forth. So what's happening is it's not actually getting the glue to the heat that I want it to make this a simple separation. So what I'm going to actually have to do is put something on top of it here. Now, the whole reason why I put the strapping tape and the playing cards on it are two reasons. One is that the display itself is very shattered, so the glass will not stay together as I try to cut it off. The second is that there's no the bezel on this display is very small, so there's no way to get the clamps onto it. So the playing cards give it some rigidness. I'm going to put this on top of it and see if this will give me a little bit better heat. You can already see that it's actually cutting easier. And the second is the playing cards and strapping tape down there give it a little extra for the clamps to hold on to when you go to cut this off. So we're working our way back. So notice I go back and forth. The glue itself will kind of readhere itself, so we're trying to keep that from happening. Just work our way. There we go. Right down towards the bottom here. Now this is the best method for doing this. Like I was saying, I tried the heat gun and I tried the playing cards. I know it's easier and cheaper to do if you're an amateur trying to do this, which is what I try to use most of the time too. It's easier and it's usually a lot more cost effective. I think this separator machine was like $100. So you can see right here we've got our glass separated. Got some glue on it, so you can just use your fingers and try to pull that off. We're going to go ahead and test it here real quick and make sure that it's going to still function properly for us. Let's take out our piece of glass here. Let's go ahead and set our separator aside. Well, the playing cards I was trying to use there. Let's get rid of those real quick. Now this particular display does have a backlight. It's not an AMOLED, it's an LCD screen with a backlight, much like you'd see on an iPhone. I haven't found a way to replace some of these backlights. A lot of people say they're replaceable, but normally it seems like the LCD breaks when you try to remove them. We're going to go ahead and reconnect it here real fast and just see if our display is cracked at all. Let's find something to power the device on with. Hopefully the battery's not dead. Oh, it might be helpful if I reattached it here. Alright, there we go. We can see there's a little bit of issue with the backlight down here. It's just that the heat has pulled it off the backing, so if we just press it back down, you can see the rest of the display lights up. So that's not an issue. Just the backlight tape came off a little bit there. So you can see it's definitely a functional display at this point. Our next step is to go ahead and just finish cleaning it up. Like I was saying, this glue is pretty strong in comparison to some of the others that I saw. So we'll see what it takes to go ahead and clean it up. I'll check that out in my next section of this video. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just start to peel this back. It looks like it's easiest to just kind of use your fingers on this big portion. You can see that this portion of the glass here has probably the thickest glue residue on it. So what you can do is get a little bit of friction on it. It's a little bit of the oils that are on your fingers and use that to kind of peel it back. We'll go ahead and do that for the entirety of this large piece of glue that was stuck on here. Just kind of peel it off. Work your way all the way down to the bottom. Alright, so we've went ahead and removed the majority of the glue off with our fingers. Now we're just getting this last little edge here to get removed. Alright, now the next step is what I'm going to use is some 90% or higher isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber cloth to go ahead and clean up the remaining portions of the glue residue here. It's actually a little bit easier to take off than I thought it was going to be. It comes off pretty quickly here. So we'll just go through and just be careful of the edges. Now, like I was saying, this does have a backlight on it, so you don't want to pour and have a ton of liquid on this, or it's going to get into the backlight of this display. Now, I've seen a lot of methods for keeping the liquids and the loca out of the backlight of these displays, and I haven't found one that's extremely effective yet. I'm going to try one with this display and see how that works out. Just kind of taping in the edges a little bit. We'll see if that works for us at all. We're just going to try to clean it up as much as possible. It doesn't have to be streak-free. You can have some streaks on it, and that's fine. we're just going to go ahead and skip to the point where we get to the gluing portion of it, and we'll go ahead and clean it once we get it back into the frame as well. We're going to put that into video 2, so if you want to watch that, go ahead and check it out. I'll put it down in the description of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this video useful, hit the like button. Try to be respectful in the comments. I understand that this is not a complete video, and like I was saying, that it doesn't necessarily work out to be a working display in the end, but really the goal is for it to be informational. So if you're looking to try to refurbish these displays, or if you have one that you want to fix and try to just keep it on the cost low, than buying a brand new one, you can give this a whirl and see how that works out for you. Probably save you about $50 in the end, rather than buying just a brand new display.